The African savanna does not forgive mistakes. When water disappears and prey becomes scarce, every predator must decide quickly: hunt, compete, or retreat. Lions, hyenas, leopards, and wild dogs share the same territory, but survive in very different ways. Here, strength alone is not enough. Strategy, timing, and cooperation determine who lives to see another day. And before we continue, if this kind of documentary draws you in, like and subscribe so you don't miss the journeys ahead. In the savanna, survival is about managing energy. Every step, every pause, every hunting attempt comes at a cost. For predators, success depends on reading the terrain, cooperation, or absolute silence. And as the dry season advances, simple mistakes turn into fatal risks. With water growing more distant, movement concentrates around a few key points of the savanna. Predators and prey are forced to share routes, shade, and timing. For some, this creates opportunity. For others, it increases danger. In the dry season, there is no isolation, only inevitable encounters. And as the sun climbs higher, the margin for error begins to shrink. As territory compresses, paths begin to cross. Different predators start using the same natural corridors at the same times. Confrontation is not always direct. Often, survival depends on avoiding the other at precisely the right moment. In the savanna, knowing when to retreat can be as vital as knowing when to strike. And with space shrinking, tension hangs in the air. Not every hunt ends in success. In the savanna, most attempts fail before they truly begin. The wind shifts, the prey senses danger, time slips away. Every mistake drains energy, a resource that is becoming increasingly scarce. For these predators, pushing too hard can be just as dangerous as giving up too soon. And as the day moves on, opportunities narrow. While some rely on strength, others survive through precision. In the savanna, each predator exploits a different weakness: speed, surprise, cooperation. There is no single path to success, only decisions matched to the right moment. And when prey makes a mistake, the window lasts only seconds. As afternoon advances, the rhythm of the savanna shifts once again. As the day comes to an end, fatigue begins to take its toll. For predators, pressing on now could mean success, or the final waste of energy. Every decision is carefully weighed, because night offers no guarantee of rest. And if you're following this journey through the savanna, a like helps this documentary reach more people. With nightfall, the savanna changes its rules. Visibility drops, sound becomes critical, and risk is redistributed. For some predators, darkness offers an advantage. For others, it demands extreme caution. It's during this period that small decisions can define success or failure in the next hunt. And under faint light, every movement matters. Night creates rare opportunities. The heat fades, sounds travel farther, and vision is no longer the primary ally. For some predators, this is the ideal moment to test their luck. But in the dark, a miscalculation can be costly for hunter and hunted alike. And under the silence of night, the savanna holds its breath. In darkness, the distance between success and failure is razor thin. One mistimed sound, one misplaced step, and everything is lost. For predators, this is a moment of full commitment, advance or abandon. For prey, any hesitation can be fatal. The savanna waits, and now there is no room for correction. Not every approach ends in an attack. Sometimes prey reacts in time. Other times, the predator evaluates and retreats. In the savanna, abandoning an attempt is not failure. It is survival. Conserving energy can mean living for the next opportunity. And tonight, the decision is clear. As movement fades, the savanna returns to silence. With the first attempt over, the night continues. In other parts of the savanna, different predators assess new chances. The land is vast, but resources are limited. Every relocation consumes energy, and every decision carries risk. In darkness, changing areas can mean finding food or facing more competition. And as the night advances, the savanna remains in motion. Not every dispute involves direct attack. Often, presence alone is enough to push competitors away. Stares, posture, and subtle movement decide who holds ground and who withdraws. In the nocturnal savanna, avoiding conflict can be the safest choice, especially when different strengths evaluate the same space. And while no one advances, tension continues to rise. As the early hours approach, time begins to weigh heavily. Remaining energy must be used with precision. For those still unfed, this may be the last real window of the night. The savanna slows, but it does not rest. In the deepest darkness, final decisions begin to take shape. And as night moves on, silent urgency grows. Before dawn, the savanna offers one final opportunity. Fatigue is evident, but necessity speaks louder. For those who haven't eaten, this brief window can define the day ahead. Silence is broken only by cautious steps and controlled breathing. And with light about to rise, every second gains weight. As the sun appears on the horizon, the savanna reveals what the night concealed. Visibility returns, along with new limitations. For many predators, dawn closes the best hunting opportunities. For prey, it offers brief relief. The cycle does not end, it simply restarts under a different light. And as day begins, balance shifts once again. With the sun higher, heat reclaims the savanna. Activity decreases, and shade becomes a contested resource. For predators, this is a time to recover energy and observe. For prey, a chance to feed with greater safety. But even during daylight, vigilance never stops. Under the rising sun, the pace slows, without stopping. As heat reaches its peak, movement becomes deliberate. Every step exposes the body to extreme effort. Predators avoid unnecessary expenditure. Prey feed quickly and seek immediate shade. The savanna appears quiet, but this calm is strategic. Surviving the heat is as vital as escaping predators at night. And under the relentless sun, patience becomes an advantage. When the sun begins to descend, the savanna slowly awakens from its lull. The air cools, shadows stretch, and movement gradually returns. For many predators, this is a time of careful observation. For prey, a transition, still relatively safe, but never free of risk. As afternoon advances, the cycle begins once more. With dusk approaching, the savanna enters a new rhythm. Heat fades, low light creates favorable shadows, and animals reclaim strategic positions. For predators, it's time to study patterns and select targets. For prey, attention must double before night falls again. As the sun sinks, the game of survival reorganizes. As night returns, the savanna shifts back to high alert. Light fades quickly, and senses take control. Predators resume familiar routes, while prey regroup more tightly. Nothing starts from zero. Everything continues from where it paused. And under growing darkness, the survival cycle moves forward. As night returns, the savanna shifts back to high alert. Light fades quickly, and senses take control. Predators resume familiar routes, while prey regroup more tightly. Nothing starts from zero. Everything continues from where it paused, and under growing darkness, the survival cycle moves forward. As night deepens, movement begins to converge. Different paths lead to the same point, and subtle signs reveal recent activity. For predators, this signals opportunity. For prey, rising danger. In the savanna, when many eyes focus on one place, something is about to happen. And in darkness, concentrated movement never goes unnoticed. When many paths lead to the same place, choice disappears. The distance between watching and acting shrinks fast. For some predators, retreat now would mean losing the best chance of the night. For prey, staying may be even riskier. In the savanna, certain moments allow no delay. With tension built, the next move becomes inevitable. By late afternoon, the savanna shifts pace. Heat eases, movement returns. Among dozens of watchful eyes, a mistake happens. The lionesses are already positioned. There is no warning, no hesitation. When the attack begins, the herd scatters in seconds. For the isolated prey, every step drains energy. For predators, maintaining pressure is essential. This hunt is not about pure speed. It is calculated exhaustion. The difference comes in a single instant. A stumble. A fraction of a second lost. The lioness strikes with precision, bringing the prey down before the run can continue. In seconds, movement stops. The group gathers quickly, securing control and safety. For predators, effort turns into energy. For the savanna, it's simply another adjustment in the cycle. The hunt ends, consumption begins. The distance closes rapidly. Uneven terrain takes its toll, and fatigue begins to decide the outcome. For the one pursuing, maintaining pressure is essential. For the one fleeing, a single misstep can be final. In the savanna, the critical point doesn't declare a winner. It simply removes options. The chase reaches its limit. The body demands what determination can no longer sustain. In a matter of seconds, the outcome asserts itself, not through brute force, but through accumulated exhaustion. In the savannah, victory is not about being faster, but about enduring longer. And when movement stops, the night bears witness. When the run ends, the savannah enters a brief state of suspension. Spent energy must be recovered, and attention is quickly redistributed. Predators adjust priorities, opportunists assess distance and risk, and the environment absorbs the impact of what has just occurred. Nothing remains static for long. After the peak of tension, the savannah reorganizes. Focus disperses, sounds space out, and animals return to cautious routines. Nothing returns exactly to what it was before, but the system finds a new balance. Where there was pursuit, there is now attentive silence, and the night moves on. With the immediate danger gone, the territory breathes again. With the territory momentarily quieter, the night advances into its deepest phase. Activity doesn't disappear, it redistributes. Some predators still need to feed, others simply remain on watch. Every sound carries weight, every movement holds intent. The savannah moves slowly toward its most decisive moments, and as the hours pass, the margin for error narrows. At this stage of the night, there is no room for empty attempts. Remaining energy determines who can still take risks. Experienced predators avoid waste, while weaker prey feel the toll of hours without rest. Every movement now carries direct consequence. The savannah enters its most unforgiving phase. The final hours of the night align forces and intentions. Those still moving do so out of necessity, not trial. Trails converge, scents overlap, and the territory reveals its final decision points. The savannah offers no guarantees, only brief opportunities for those with energy left to act. The night reaches its point of greatest tension. What has been avoided until now begins to feel inevitable. Dominant predators assert presence, while others withdraw to survive. The savannah takes no sides. It simply reveals who still has the strength to remain. In this moment, balance is tested. After dominance is asserted, the savanna responds with retreat and silence. Direct conflict is avoided, and remaining energy is preserved. The climax does not explode. It slowly dissolves, imposing distance and respect. And with that, the night begins to yield. As tension fades, the night loses its grip. Movements become more spaced, and the territory enters recovery mode. For many, rest becomes inevitable. For others, vigilance continues until the first sign of light. Slowly, the savanna prepares to shift once more. The sky begins to brighten, almost imperceptibly. Night retreats without resistance, and the first sounds of day emerge softly. For those who endured the harshest hours, dawn is not victory. It is continuity. And as light returns, the savanna changes again. With daylight established, the savanna reveals traces of the night left behind. Footprints, paths, and silences tell recent stories. For those who live here, there is no true pause, only constant adaptation to the new cycle beginning. Under the rising sun, survival shifts shape once more. In daylight, the savanna exposes quiet signs of what occurred. Tracks in the soil, trampled grass, altered paths. For observers, these are details. For those who live here, they are essential information for surviving the next cycle. Even without witnesses, the story remains written on the ground. Nothing truly ends in the savanna. What unfolds during the night simply feeds into the following day. Every track, every choice, adds to a larger cycle that never stops. Survival here means repetition, learning, and moving forward. And as the sun climbs, the story begins again. In the savanna, there are no absolute endings. Each sunrise carries the weight of what came before and the promise of what lies ahead. Predators, prey, and landscapes remain connected by a fragile yet persistent balance. Here, To survive is to continue. And as the day advances, the savanna remains. As the day progresses, the savanna settles into a new balance. The night left its marks, but the priority now is energy and vigilance. Predators reduce activity, prey spread out once more. Survival continues, simply under different rules. Under the higher sun, the rhythm shifts again. As heat intensifies, every species enters conservation mode. Moving without necessity becomes costly. Predators seek shade, prey adjust timing, and even the smallest inhabitants follow the same principle: expend less to last longer. Under the harsh sun, survival means knowing when to stop. Even during the hottest hours, the savanna is never fully paused. Small movements occur, distant gazes cross, and silent decisions continue to be made. The balance of daylight is fragile, sustained by constant awareness. Under the heat, risk merely hides. As the day advances, heat slowly begins to ease. Small movements grow more frequent, and the savanna emerges from extreme stillness. There is no sudden shift, only a gradual, almost imperceptible adjustment. And with that, the territory begins to reorganize. As the day moves on, the territory enters its final phase of stability. Nothing explodes, nothing fully resolves. Each species adjusts position, anticipating what comes next. In the savanna, the future is never far. It simply waits for the right moment. As the cycle nears its end, everything aligns once again. As light begins to fade, the savanna slowly returns to the state that defined the entire journey. The day has done its work, reorganizing forces, redistributing energy, revealing who endured the harshest hours. Now, signals reverse. Shadows lengthen, temperatures fall, and old roots regain importance. Nothing truly begins here. Everything simply returns to its starting point. As night approaches, roles begin to shift once more. What rested during the day awakens, and what dominated the light retreats into caution. The savanna does not change, it turns. Each cycle carries invisible memories, accumulated decisions, and tested limits. For those who live here, there is no true conclusion, only continuity, repetition, and constant adaptation. And as darkness returns, survival takes control once again. When night fully settles, the savanna returns to its oldest state. There are no lasting winners, only temporary survivors. Every step, every pause, every choice made throughout the day shapes the hours ahead. Balance here is not fixed. It continuously adjusts, sustained by losses, successes, and natural limits. This is how the system endures, night after night. At the end of this cycle, nothing truly concludes. The savanna remains in constant motion, sustained by silent decisions and fragile balances. Predators, prey, and landscapes stay connected within a system that depends not on winners, but on continuity. Tomorrow, the same rules will apply under new conditions. And if journeys like this through the wild hold your attention, like and subscribe to continue following these natural stories.
This video you just watched was made with the help of artificial intelligence, and it is intended for documentary and entertainment purposes.